Hey guys, so I know you don't know me and never seen me, but I wanted to make this video fully explaining the situation about Instagram user Lexity. You can call me Mr. Fizzle. I'm not a YouTuber or an activist or a vigilante. I'm just some guy on the internet and I just want to provide context to anyone who is willing to watch. I'm not putting my face or anything on here because I know how you hooligans are with the doxing. Also, before anyone tries to pull in kinda goofy card, just know I'm trans masculine and black, so I don't want to hear any transphobia or any other accusation bullshit. I just want to let people know the people who have interacted with Lexity in person. I'm covering Marcy and Marcella. Please refer back to this if you forget who's who. And for the record, I won't be tolerating any transphobia towards anyone. Someone's actions are not an invitation to misgendering them. Now let's slide into the video.
Magic! Look at this magic! Oh my god!
If you don't know by now, Anastasia Alexandria, aka Lexity, is a transgender gender fluid Instagram influencer, and currently she has 266,000 followers. She gained traction online by posting about her fun facts about different topics and for her personal life experiences through the lens of a queer person.
In public, at a concert, dancing, musicians will often try and remind me that I'm unwelcome in their spaces by playing transphobic music at me.
She's also been struggling with mental illness and unstable housing in his user platform to start a GoFundMe page. She was then able to garner support from other queer people online and raised $30,000 to buy a van to live in. But recently she has been caught up in backlash and controversy after her recent breakup video January 2nd.
Hey, sweet pea, so sometimes when people ask you to hang out, it's because they fucking need someone, and I have been alone for so goddamn long, everybody just fucking stares at me, and most people don't like me because I'm trans and punk, and nobody fucking wants to be around me. I need someone in my life who will just spend fucking 10 minutes to give me a hug. Ever! Goddamn! I am so... I can't do this. I can't do this.
So where did it all start? So it started when Lexity was expressing how she felt lonely and just needed a hug. Marcella, a former supporter of hers, said she only lived 2 hours away in South Oregon from Lexity, so she drives over there to meet up. Marcella speaks about it in her video, so please watch, link in description. Marcella felt nervous because she's never met a public figure before, which is understandable. She said there was a power dynamic. Marcella mentioned because she normally refrained from parasocial relationships online. She states that in her past relationships, she had been unhealthily codependent and anxiously attached to them early on with partners for survival and a place to live. So they go and get dinner. Marcella said that she was really eager to find a partner that fit her ideal standards, or so she thought. She said that after taking time to heal from past relationships, she needs to feel independent from her partner in case something were to happen to them or between them. We'll circle back to that later. So here's how the date went on the night of the 2nd in Marcella's words.
In a public location, we had dinner. I was quite nervous because I've never met like a public figure, you know. Obviously, there's a power dynamic happening.
The night that we met, we went to get sushi. Which is so funny, Marcy, that you guys got sushi too. But she, I was like just looking at her and talking to her, and she goes, "You're attracted to me, aren't you?" And I said, "How could you tell?" And she was like, "Because you're flirting with me."
Lexity confessed to loving Marcella very quickly after they met. Marcella was feeling uncomfortable because Lexity was moving way too fast for her. After their date, they head back to Marcella's place, and she allows Lexity to stay at her place for a bit. She even filmed there. Look. Lexity gets kicked out on the 6th after getting triggered by Marcella's attachment style. Marcella expressed that she felt more comfortable just existing together and getting to know each other first, which made Lexi blow up.
I wanted time, I wanted to get to know her, I just kind of wanted to exist with each other, like let's, you know, go out and do fun things, let's watch movies together, let's hang out. Let's not become so, like, crazy.
Marcella had a panic attack because she hadn't been eating since the relationship started, which she had been panicking for about 4 days at that point. Lexity felt a little freaked out, and she said she was scared of losing Marcella and asked her fears. Marcella answers the question saying that she's afraid of getting too attached too fast, but also felt guilty for not initially comforting Lexity. She was drinking that night, and she had told her partner beforehand about her alcoholic tendencies. Lexity would yell and scream in Marcella's face, and even after Marcella apologized for what happened, she would say that it was fine, and then she would get herself stuck in a loop of getting upset over and over about the situation.
There was a point where it was towards the end of it, so I had been tolerating the screaming for a long time at this point, and I just was so emotionally exhausted, and I said, can you please stop screaming at me? And she switched up from yelling to immediately like, oh, is it okay if I talk to you like this? Are you gonna understand me if I'm talking to you like this? Like, talking to me like I'm a fucking baby, which was really, really rude. Yeah. Reiterating, she just kept screaming like, I need you to need me, and if you can't do that, then this isn't gonna work, and blah blah blah. Like, just reiterating the same shit over and over and over again about how she needs me to need her in every way possible, financially, emotionally, every way possible.
So that's how Marcella's story went down. But let's get into the other one with Marcy. And thank you so much, Marcella, for sharing all these details with me. I know it was very hard to process all of this emotionally, but I just wanted to help you and to make sure that all the facts were right for this video. Because I know that somebody else had made a video without your permission, and they had left out some details that were not correct. So let's jump into Marcy's story. Marcy is the second person that we're going to be talking about today. She lived in the area around Phoenix, Oregon as well. Mind you, this happened within the same time frame as Marcella's incident, but it happened right after Marcella and them had a falling out. Although Lexity and Marcy had been talking for a couple months before Marcella and Lexity initially met up, after Marcy had come back from a holiday vacation in Tennessee. This is her video, so make sure to check it out for full details. So it starts off with them going to dinner. Again, mind you, Marcy is diving in expecting just to have a platonic hangout since they were in a relationship at the time.
And from the get-go, it seems like Anastasia is pressuring me to want her more than I want my current partner.
Lexity picks up Marcy in her van, and the first question that she asks her is if she's in an open relationship. Marcy says no, because she at the time was fully committed in a monogamous relationship. Marcy does often talk about her relationship and ask for advice from her friends, but it's nothing more than that. From the start, Marcy was starting to feel very uncomfortable as Lexity was asking her over and over about how she could be a better partner or why she was still dating the other person that she was dating at the time.
What I believe in is that it is not okay to try and force somebody out of their relationship they're currently in and try and persuade them that they deserve better.
They had only met one time in person, so it was very uncomfortable for Marcy. She had already told Lexity she was in a relationship. Lexity was attempting to pressure Marcy into leaving her partner because she wanted to convince Marcy that she could do so much better. Lexity was said to believe that Marcy was meant to be, quote, a submissive woman to her and was willing to take care of her, quote, which wasn't what Marcy was originally looking for.
Anastasia was pressuring me to, understand that I deserved better and I needed to leave my relationship, and somebody like her could treat me so much better, and that, I'm obviously a submissive woman that needs a dominant mommy to take care of her, which I do not. I'm not asking for that.
At the time, Marcy was too stunned to speak, so she really just decided to ignore what Lexity was saying to her, and hopefully everything would just dissolve. At the time, she was still healing from some past experiences, and she was still working on establishing her own boundaries, so she really didn't know what to say. Marcy said that she had been struggling with people-pleasing and not speaking up for herself for her needs to others. Still, her silence was not a yes to any of Lexity's behavior. The questioning from Lexity on Marcy's relationship intensified as they were chatting in her van, and constantly she was trying to reaffirm Marcy's choices with her partners. She mentioned hugging Lexity and how she liked platonic affection and that the hug was something that she was okay with, until Lexity had taken it too far by touching her inappropriately.
But from like the hug on, I felt like she was really pressuring me to be romantic or sexual with her. She gave me her nice jacket. It was really warm. We went on the bench in front of this pond to talk and just sit and digest. And Anastasia was trying to kiss me. I was kind of trying to pull away and just not give in to that. And then next thing I know, Anastasia is grubbing my breast, and she does this twice. And I froze because I didn't know what the fuck to do.
Well, I forgot to mention that this was in a park at a public space, which really adds to the severity of Lexity's actions to do something like that in public.
She went and got me a vape, which I'm very thankful for. I was very stressed out because I didn't have my vape with me. I'm very grateful for that, but let's not let that sugarcoat what else happened. I'm glad I had that vape so I could get my brain together to figure out what I needed to do.
She was still processing everything at the time and trying to figure out how to go from there. As they continued driving down the freeway in California in Lexi's van, she kept bringing up earlier topics of Marcy's relationship. Lexity is very insistent and pressuring Marcy to be in a relationship with her, but Marcy continues to say no. Marcy describes herself as a shy and non-confrontational person, and at the time she didn't want to offend Lexity. Marcy is eventually exhausted from the entire situation and asks Lexity to take her home. Lexity tries to deflect and try to ask her to go somewhere else like the beach as an excuse to spend more time with her. Clearly Marcy just wanted to go home.
I really just wanted to go home. I didn't have to tell her that.
Lexity drives her over to her place, and at the time Marcy was living with her boyfriend. Lexity was clearly upset because she wanted her to stay with her instead of Marcy staying with her boyfriend, only after one meeting.
Basically, like, I just can't believe you're going with him and not with me. And I was like, and I started crying in front of her, and I was like, hey dude, I just needed a friend tonight. I'm going through my own things as well, and I'm very sorry if I put any of those onto you that made you feel like I need that much saving, because I don't.
We were both expecting very different things from that interaction. Marcy was only looking for a friend to support her after going through so much in her life. Lexity in that situation was only thinking about herself and only thinking about her wants and her needs. It took some time for Marcy to really process what had happened in that situation with her and Lexity. And I want to thank her as well for sharing her story and being brave. You should always use your voice, even if it shakes. Remember that. Let's talk about Lexity's other controversies and her initial reactions to everything since her fallout.
Oh my god, bro. Oh, hell no.
Okay, so let's jog our memories a little bit and go back to the video on Lexity talking about how she got kicked out by Marcella.
Hey, sweet pea, so I got dumped, and it's entirely my fault. Like, they weren't perfect, but nobody's ever perfect, and the way I reacted was definitely not okay. I'm an alcoholic, and I kind of fell off the wagon when I was with my last ex. It was just a very stressful situation. Plus, I got kicked out of 2 different living situations in a very short time period. That's not a good justification. It's not a justification at all, but it is an explanation of what happened. And I'm scary. I'm very scary when I'm angry. And I can't... when you're as scary as me, you can change the way someone sees you in a day. And it's... I wish I wasn't scary sometimes. I like it sometimes. It keeps me safe. That's why I'm scary. That's why I learned to be scary, but... it's just a lot. I really gotta go drinking though, because if I'm gonna be me, I have to be in control. I love you.
Now, after watching this video, you might be thinking to yourself, so it looks like she's taking accountability for her actions. But really that's not the case. And like Marcella said before, she would get stuck in a loop, she said, where she would say, oh no, it's fine. And then she would keep talking about it and getting herself angry, and it would repeat in a cycle. And that's what her other videos entail. So let's get into those.
Humans are inherently social animals. You will never, ever, 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 ever feel complete if you are alone. That is not the way humans work. You need people. You are codependent from birth, okay? Denying the fact that you need people, and specifically denying the fact that you need your partner, is not going to make you stronger.
Okay, so look, I agree that humans are codependent from birth because obviously When you're a newborn, you can't do anything. You can't think for yourself. You can't feed yourself. You can't shower. You can't do anything. And you need your parents to take care of you. But once you're an adult, you are less likely to be codependent. It doesn't mean that you can't have support from other people or help from your friends and family, but being independent is, tied in with adulthood. And you do not, as a human, require to have a partner to live a fulfilling life and to be able to support yourself. Sure, it may be instinctual because, people want to have partners so they can have kids and start a family, like most species do, besides our own. But we're a very advanced species, and we don't always need a partner to make sure that, we're doing okay mentally and emotionally. We can find that love somewhere else. Latching on to somebody and expecting them to solve all your problems is not going to help you. Even a therapist or psychiatrist, yeah, they're there to help you talk about your feelings and give you advice, but it takes only you to be able to push yourself into the right direction to get help and to support yourself and to be independent. You cannot rely on your partner solely to make you feel like they're the only reason that's keeping you going. But let's go a little bit deeper into exactly what she means, because a lot of people had initially agreed with her because she intentionally makes what she says so vague.
I want a life partner, someone who I share my life with, and if them dying means I die, fucking good.
Okay, let's pause right here, cause first of all, what the actual fuck? No, because in all seriousness, this type of mentality is not okay. Not okay. I've seen this happen. I've witnessed this firsthand. I've even felt this way before, and it is not healthy. Feeling like you are ready to off yourself just because your partner, dies for whatever reason is not okay. I understand dying for your partner, being like, oh, I will save you in a fire and die for you, baby girl. But being like, oh, if you die, I die. That's just manipulation. That is straight up telling your partner, you have to live or else I'm going to kill myself too. That's evil. And in other words, people like that will also say, well, if you leave me, then I'll off myself. And that's not okay, like I said, because that scares your partner into thinking, it's their fault because they're dead. Lexity, I hope you're watching this because you really need to value your life more. You cannot just give up on your own life simply because your partner has gone to the afterlife without you. That is never okay, okay? You need to value yourself, value your life. I know you got a lot of problems right now, but seriously, this sounds like all of this that's going on her account is a huge cry for help.
The problem is, I keep running into people who need a romantic relationship because most humans need a romantic partner, but are unwilling to accept that they need that. So they keep being in relationships with people like me who want a life partner, but they're unwilling to actually commit their life to me because they overcommitted their life to someone who treated them like shit. Now they assume everyone is like that.
Honestly, the way you speak about both Marcella and Marcy is just very bitter. You can tell that you're butthurt because both of them expressed boundaries that they did not want to be with you because either they were already in a relationship or because it had only been 2 days since you met and they obviously did not want to get down on one knee and marry you. And I think your problem is, like I said before, is that you assume everybody needs to be in a romantic relationship just because you need that to feel whole and to feel like a human. But really, I don't think that's the case either. I think it's just that you want to control somebody else's life because you wanted to be treated like a goddess and not be questioned for anything you say or do. How dare somebody else have boundaries because they inflict with yours? Instead of coming up with a compromise, you attack them and berate them and say that they overcommitted. There was nothing to commit to because there was no relationship. Marcy said that she only wanted to be friends with you. She had already told you time and time again that she was in a romantic relationship with somebody else. Marcella only merely wanted to give you a hug. She liked you, but she said that she wanted to take it slow so that they can build up feelings over time. You're the one who's overcommitting to people because you believe that when people take time out of their day that you feel is attractive to you to be nice to you and give you nice things automatically means that they want to be in love with you and they want to marry you and they want to have 18 kids and settle down and die together. That's not what they want. That is not what people do simply because they're attracted to you. That's not how it works.
Hey, sweet pea, so I'm a mommy dom. And that's not just a sex thing. It's a thing that I am in romantic relationships outside of the bedroom. I want to cook for you. I want to run you a bath. I want to take care of you. And I want to hold you and tell you that you're safe and listen to your emotions and do the things that I wish my mother had done for me when I
Here I come. Oh, here I come.
was a child. Yes, it does come from trauma, and that's okay, right? Everything comes from trauma. Trauma shapes us. And just because you can say, oh, you have mommy issues. Yes, I do, and I handle them very well.
Okay, let's break it down a little bit, because I know you did not tell us this bald-headed lie. I'm not going to make any assumptions based off her relationship with her mother, other than the police report we're going to get into a little bit later. But is it a mommy-dom thing, or is it a control thing? Is it because you want to take care of your partner and make them feel loved? Yeah, you do have mommy issues, clearly, but that does not mean you know how to handle them well, because, well, let's just get into that police report while we're on the topic.
I kicked out of my mother's home because she has OCD, and when she came home to me using the living room to make music with musical instruments spread out through the place, not horribly messy, and the kitchen having been used to cook meals, not horribly filthy, she freaked out and broke into my room before I had woken up, and I had a sexual partner in my bed, and I sleep naked, and I have PTSD, so people breaking into a space when I'm not fully aware they're going to be back is a terrible idea, you know? It really triggered me, and I got really, really angry, so I screamed at her to get her out of my room, which is actually a very fair response.
Stop. What do you mean by that?
Getting someone out of your space when they invade it is a reasonable reaction. I didn't physically attack her in any way. I didn't follow her out of the room. She ended up calling the cops and said I threatened her life, which I did not do at all, unless telling her to get out of my room is in some way threatening her life, right? So I had 20 minutes to pack up my things. I packed up my things. I moved in with my partner. No. So I got kicked out of my house without 30 days notice, and the way my mother did that is by going to a judge and saying that she was afraid for her life.
Under the sauce.
And apparently, if you're just enough of a Karen, it doesn't matter if there's like a reason for you to be afraid. You just have to say you're afraid.
It's under the sauce.
Would you like to see a cop threaten my life to my partner?
Is there any weapons in that room?
Nothing.
I don't want to have to shoot anybody, but I will if I have to.
Whoa.
So they just came into my house without even like knocking or anything, because my mother gave them permission, so they didn't need a warrant or anything at all.
It's from Chicago.
They just walked in, came up the stairs, pointed a gun at me, and told me I had 20 minutes to pack up everything I needed to go, and that I was never allowed to come back to my house.
Now it's your house, little guy.
Or at least not until I fought the restraining order in court. So now I have to go to court to fight a restraining order filled with lies about me, which is absolutely infuriating.
Jesus under the sauce.
Because I don't even want to talk to my mom anymore. She's fully dead to me. I'm going no contact after this. She's abusive. And she has ruined my entire childhood, and I'm not going to let her ruin my entire life.
So let's get this straight. You're a grown woman living in your mother's house. You leave instruments and dishes in the sink in her house. You bring somebody home and have sex with them in her house, and you scream at her to get out of your room, the room that she's allowing you to stay in. Mind you, you're an adult. You're not a teenager anymore. You're not a child. She's not legally obligated to let you stay at her house. She is letting you because she's your mother and she loves you very much, but you're mooching off of her and disrespecting her. Your mother does not have OCD purely because you left a bunch of shit all over her house. That's just disrespectful. And why would she not feel threatened when you claim that you screamed at her? Clearly, this is not the first time that you have done something like this to her. And now that she's fed up, you're getting upset because you're not getting away with being so abusive towards your own mother.
Hey, sweetie, if you're a parent and your children hate you, it's entirely your fault, because children are like pure empty vessels, and either you make them hate you by doing something awful, or you raised them so poorly that they're such a poor judge of character that they hate you despite the fact that you're perfect. And we all know it's the first one anyways. It's your fault.
Clearly she's projecting here because she got called the police on her, and that's why she's throwing a hissy fit online. It's just really sad and pathetic that she's treating her own mother like that. And I know there was an instance about her stealing a dog named Apollo. I don't know much about that, so I can't really speak on that right now. But this is all I have as per right now of recording this video.
Space. I will display what emotions I want in this space. And if I'm angry, I'm not going to hurt you. It's literally impossible. So if you're afraid, that's you being triggered, and you don't get to put your discomfort on me. I'm allowed to feel whatever emotions I want. I'm not attacking you. I'm not singling you out. I'm just feeling an emotion, and you find it uncomfortable, and you don't allow me to feel it because it's uncomfortable for you. That's not acceptable. And if you are going to feel that way, leave this space, or do not ever say that to me again. You do not get to pathologize me. You do not get to tell me I'm not allowed to feel angry. If I am not yelling at you,
I get that this is your space online, but like just tweaking out and losing your mind and expecting people to just be okay with that is just seriously goofy, okay? Beyond goofy, beyond clueless. What is going through your head when you post all these videos? The fact that you're willingly posting and publicizing your crash outs is actually insane. And you wonder why people are turning against you. Maybe if you just learn to shut your mouth for like a good 5 minutes, then people, wouldn't be so against you, Like, people have been telling you that you need to go to bed, you look tired, you look rough, you look beat up, you need to take a break from the internet. And then what do you say? Oh, guys, actually, I think I'm gonna go live for a couple hours. And not just a couple hours, like days on live.
So that thing with Marcella was a huge mistake. I really liked her. I loved her even, and I really wanted to work on us. I liked a lot of things about her. She did not want to work on us. I got mad, and she gave up, and I took full accountability for my part in that, because that's the healthy thing to do. I wish she would have taken accountability for her part in it. You see, I don't know how everyone assumes I'm the bad one when I'm the one taking accountability, while she's just shirking accountability entirely. The reason we're not talking right now is because after I got mad at her and, ended up, ruining the relationship, I was like telling her that I was having a hard time drinking, but I'm not going to drink because I really hurt her, and like, I don't want to hurt anyone, so I'm not going to do that. And she was like, oh, well, don't not drink for me. You can drink if you want to. And it's like, really? You're going to encourage me to drink because the idea of me not drinking for you is me relying on you too much? Like, no.
I feel like when you got upset about Marcella saying, oh, you can drink if you want to, what she was not trying to say is that she wants you to drink. She's only saying that because you are in control of your drinking habits, because that was your addiction and that was your problem before you even met her. You should not be asking somebody else to tell you to stop your addiction. It should not be somebody else's choice whether or not you indulge in your alcoholism. I know that addiction is hard and is a real thing, but it cannot be somebody else's responsibility or choice whether or not you decide to indulge in your alcoholic tendencies. When you get up and you go to the liquor store, who's making you go to the liquor store? You are. When you reach into the kitchen cabinet and you get yourself a bottle of alcohol, who's doing that? You are. And I'm sure you know that, because if it were up to Lexity to decide what Lexity puts in her body and what Lexity drinks, she will say yes to herself. She will say, yes, I want to drink, because she has alcoholism, because she can't bring herself to say no to herself. So she has to have somebody else do it for her. You can be handed help on a silver platter, but only you can take it. Okay? The same person who walked into the liquor store and got you alcohol is the same person that can walk into the rehab center and get you help. AKA you. People can tell you all day long that drinking is bad for you, but you can't force somebody who doesn't want to be helped to get help. You can't force somebody to get up and take their medication every day. You can't force somebody to drive themselves to therapy and talk about it with their therapist. You can't force somebody to give up their addictions. They have to want it for themselves to really start that change inside of them.
Hey, sweetie, I don't think you get to control what other people talk about, especially when it comes to you and what they've experienced with you. Like, if it makes you look bad, maybe you shouldn't have done it, and you need to be okay with them talking about it, yeah?
Hey, Sweet Pea, I think it's very ironic how you talk about how people are controlling what you say about them, but they're not allowed to say anything bad about you. Got up in arms and slut-shamed Marcy and Marcella for posting videos discussing what happened to them and what you did to them in full detail. You just think you're big and tough because you can hide behind your almost 300,000 followers and say all this nonsense and condition them to think that you're the good guy in this situation when you're not. You've been outed as a sexual predator by 2 people already. It's only gonna add up from there. Who knows who else is out there and hasn't shared their story yet? The fact that you're publicly posting your crash outs while the other 2 victims have completely moved on from you and are living their best lives just goes to show how much you need help and are just genuinely deranged. They will never forget the things that you've done and said to them and how you made them feel, but clearly they're trying to work on themselves and heal from that process. Meanwhile, you're sitting here losing your marbles on live to thousands of people.
And somehow off the ground, love in the glove.
And you know what? I'm gonna say it. I believe that the whole sweet pea thing is disingenuous and manipulative. Trying to act all motherly, this whole motherly act is just manipulation so that you'll feel welcome and warm, like you almost won't notice the things and the trickery and the cons she's trying to put on you. She constantly victim blames people that she's hurt in the past and then gets upset when they feel afraid of her or feel uncomfortable around her because of her actions. But let's see how she feels truly about those victims, specifically women.
Women. That does not give them independence. That's you engaging in the oppression that the patriarchy has always engaged in. Women, in order to exist safely, have always needed men to protect them. That's how the patriarchy functions. And it's not even true. Men, statistically, are more likely to be victims of violent crime outside of SA. And SA doesn't usually even happen on the street. It happens when you trust someone that you shouldn't have trusted in like a private scenario. At least the vast majority of SA, right? Like, this whole idea that women are in more danger in public isn't even true.
Okay, listen, so that is actually wildly inaccurate. I know that cisgender women experience different things from trans women, not trying to take away from the fact that she's a woman, but as a trans woman, there are certain experiences that you have yet to discover in your journey in womanhood. And I think that as trans people, we should be mindful of cis women's spaces because they have lived their entire lives as women and we're not blessed with that male privilege. I know she is a trans woman, but yes, she was born with male privilege. She lived a majority of her life as a man, and clearly there is a disconnect between experiences with cis women and trans women. Those privileges is that she's able to walk alone at night, or has in the past been able to walk home at night, not having to worry about, somebody trying to run up on her. That might not be the case now, but I think she should be more mindful as she journeys into womanhood, because women really do struggle and really do need the support, because there are some men out there who just will not listen to women, will not listen to them until another man comes up to them and is like, hey, you need to quit that. Yes, I do agree that women should be able to support themselves and to protect themselves, but it's not wrong for men to want to stand up for the women that they care about and love in their lives. They should not disregard that support from men. And I would wholeheartedly agree with this if it was not coming out of her mouth, because clearly there is a pattern in her victims, which are all vulnerable cisgender women who are going through a lot mentally and emotionally and taking advantage of that. I think she's trying to condition people to think, oh, well, women can stand up for themselves. Women are strong. Oh, she can handle this abuse from, this person who clearly does not care about women. Oh, it's fine. Blah, blah, blah. That's what she's trying to do. That's what it feels like. That was in 2024. Let's see how she feels about them now.
Cis women fucking suck. Cis women suck. Cis women suck. Cis women are fucking as bad as fucking men.
Always uses her identity as a shield, but let's get more into that. Let's go to the next segment.
Sweetie, so I'll be honest, there's a massive amount of hate going on towards me, and that's fully just because I'm a trans woman who got popular really quickly.
That's tough! That's tough!
Yeah, the Marcella thing is one thing, but the rest of it is just because people don't like that me, and someone like me, is getting a lot of attention for being very intelligent and, good at what they do.
And for being a narcissist, and for being a hypocrite, and for being a grifter, and for being a sexual predator, and for being a manipulator, and for being condescending, and for lying to your fans and saying that you were broke and homeless, even though it was clearly all your fault. Shall I go on?
Are you surprised? Why is that so, why is that so mind-blowing?
Trans person to trans person, you should not use your identity as a shield for the wrongdoings that you commit. It will not protect you from criticism you face, not because of your identity, because of your action. You turn around and say, "Oh, but guys, I'm oppressed. You can't judge me. You can't criticize me. I'm oppressed." You know you were born into white male privilege, but now that you're trans, you can use it as a weapon for anybody who criticizes you. And you can say how oppressed you are and that they're attacking you simply for being trans, which is not true. Trans person to trans person, this is bullshit and you need to stop.
I had a sense of community. Everywhere I go, people actively go out of their way to remind me that they view me as an outsider. They actively misgender me on purpose because they want to remind me that they don't view me as the thing I want them to view me as, and will never do that because they view me as an outsider. It is a systemic force that causes trans people to kill themselves at an unacceptable rate. And the fact that I'm angry about it is fine and acceptable. The only other choice is to be sad. And if I'm sad, I'm gonna fucking give up. And you know what happens? That's why the trans suicide rate is so high.
Yeah, I get it. A lot of people are gonna be, transphobic towards you in public and not make you feel welcome. But I think there are people who genuinely find you unlikable to every extent possible solely because you're an unlikable person, not because you're trans. Also, let's get into her van and her living situation right now. For context, Lexity was able to raise $30,000 on her GoFundMe to get a van after she had been kicked out of her mother's house and her ex-partner's house before Marcella.
Hey, so I'm at a dealership, but money has transferred out of my account, $23,000, and I'm still waiting to get in my car and leave because they're too fucking incompetent to realize that it's their bank and their problem, and that I signed a contract and they have my social security card, and I don't care if they lost money recently to someone else who ripped them off. The fact is, I signed a contract and they legally owe me the fucking car, which they refuse to give me. If I was less of an anarchist, I'd call the cops and the cops would give me the car because legally it is my car, right? But I guess fuck it, right? I'm not gonna do that. I love you, but do not ever go to Fowler, Honda, and Longmont. They fucking suck, and also, they slurred me a shit ton after knowing my name and my legal gender, so that's great. Hey, sweet pea, you know what I've realized gives me the most roided out gender euphoria possible? Wearing cute little pink outfits and giving hypermasculine men authoritative orders about the construction materials I need for a project I'm doing. It's like peak everything gender, I'm everything. And on top of that, I think I just like making strong men do things for me. It's fun.
No, this is really off-putting for me, honestly, because I feel like she's using her gender identity as a weapon to attack cis people. Is she just digging a bigger hole for herself and making herself look like an idiot because she's purposely attacking people who already have this ideology about trans people in their head? I'm not saying those guys are right for misgendering her at all because, that sucks, obviously. Feel like her being, a public nuisance to people who are just trying to help her out with her project and bossing them around and then turning around and saying, "Oh, you're transphobic, oh, you're misgendering me," even though she's playing into the stereotype that trans women are very aggressive with their gender identity. And then those kind of people are like, "Oh, see, you're forcing it onto me." And then those people generally have less respect for pretty much all of us because they had a bad experience with a trans person. And those kind of close-minded people are the reason why we're so frowned upon. I get it, men suck sometimes, but I feel like just going around and bullying random men that you don't know anything about, who are just trying to do their job, it leaves a bad taste in my mouth. That's what I think.
So I'm homeless right now. I'm living out of a Jetta, which is like a tiny car, so it's not exactly super comfortable because I have to figure out where I'm going to sleep every night, which is very stressful and doesn't leave me a lot of free time to do anything else, like make content. So if you'd like to help me make content, I'm trying to afford a van, and you could go over to a GoFundMe I've started and give me a couple dollars so that I could afford a van more easily. I've set the GoFundMe at $15,000, which is a lot of money, but there's a lot of people following me now, so maybe that's not too big of a dream, and I want to apologize for dreaming big.
Okay, so this is the part where she asks for money and starts a GoFundMe. It was originally set at $15,000. I don't know how it got to $30,000. She does end up reaching her goal. I don't know what kind of van she owns, but it seems like one of those standard white vans. I feel like she's not spending that money in the right places. She got the van from a friend or something. But what concerns me is how she's going to take care of herself in that van. I know she's working on some projects, but how is she going to install like a bathroom or like a sink or like a kitchen? Like how is she showering, How is she, taking care of her business? How is she staying clean? How is she able to cook for herself? Because right now she parks her van in the forest. I'm just concerned about that. Feel like it would been a lot easier if she could have just gotten a lease for an apartment instead. I'm assuming she lives near Phoenix, Oregon, and the actual average price for a one-bedroom apartment monthly is only $1,000, which is actually phenomenal for me because I live somewhere where it's very expensive to live. If I do the math right, she would be able to have a 30-month lease using solely just her donations from GoFundMe. This doesn't include the down payment or interest rate or extra amenities or anything like that. This is just hypothetical, but I feel like you could live off those $30,000 and then whatever she makes on Instagram, that could be used for, you know, her living expenses and, you know, her basic needs and all of that. I feel like that would just be a lot easier. And at the very least, she would have a lot more privacy. She would have a bathroom, a kitchen, a room to herself, and a living room. Maybe even a washer and dryer unit, or, you know, a communal one. If she wanted to get a little bougie, she could get like some amenities like apartment complex with like a gym or a swimming pool, or, you know, activities around the neighborhood. Or she could really just get like a motorhome that has all of those, you know, built-in basic appliances. There are definitely like RVs and trailers and motorhomes out there that have a bathroom and a kitchen and a loft or something to sleep on, instead of her having to use all this money to like build it all herself, because clearly she doesn't know what she's doing. Like, take a look at this.
Yeah, I do have a finite amount of money. You want me, okay, here, I'll tell you what. You want me to use the proper saw and PPE? Give me the $300 it would require me to get a jigsaw and safety glasses. Yeah, I mean, that's the proper tool and the proper safety equipment, so give me $300, I'll go get a jigsaw.
What type of question is that?
Why the hell are you asking for $300 when you still got at least $7,000 in the bank right now? You paid $23,000 for a van. Where did the other money go? Up your booty hole? Come on now. For the sake of everybody in the bank.
Act like you got some sense.
And you know what, y'all? Peep this. Cause just look at this. Clearly she is not taking care of her van. She does not give a shit about all this stuff that's coming towards her.
I almost puked, but let me stay focused.
And then she wants to act like the victim. But look at her trash her own van. And then peep this live right here.
Like, if I wanted to, I could just fucking burn down this van. Like, yeah, it'd be stupid, and like, y'all would be really mad at me, but like, if you couldn't stop me, it's my van, you know? And like, that's so satisfying that I could just do anything to like, this space is mine. And like, you guys have given me more freedom than I ever thought I would have in my entire life.
Well, I'm so sorry to the people who donated out of genuine kindness from the bottom of their hearts, because she's laughing all the way to the bank with your money.
Hey yo, trophy wife, out you won me. Until you had to find out it's one me. Now you pinched all your bum knee.
But not only that, she has just been genuinely tweaking on live since the whole Marcella thing. And she's just been going through a whole bunch of episodes. Let's get into that. Mind you, I wasn't really present during all the live streams. I really could not handle Lexity's behavior on live, because just look at it, just look.
Hey, sweetie. So I'm planning on streaming every single thing I do for the next year. I'm fucking spreading like my experience and the experience of trans people to more people than you are. What are you doing? Yeah, this is on purpose. I am a fucking content. Jesus fucking Christ, have you ever considered that maybe I can lean into my emotions sometimes and I'm not actually fucking out of control? I'm just displaying how I feel, because that's my job! The YouTube video is fine. It was the stuff she posted on her Instagram story afterwards, right? Which like shows that she knows she doesn't want to get caught, because the YouTube video is like, oh, don't go after her, right? But the stuff she posted on her Instagram story was like she's terrible. She like drank and blamed it on me and stuff. And I'm like, no, I didn't. Okay? You encouraged me to drink, and I said, I can't be around this because it makes me want to drink. And
heard it. I literally just heard it. I heard the whole thing in my trailer, and I've got to say, in all honesty, it's the biggest piece of dog shit that I have ever heard. Everyone's laughing, by the way, but it's true because everybody's heard it too.
Majority of the clips I sped up for the sake of time, but I want y'all to take a look at this one in particular. Just look at how bug-eyed she was in both clips. Her eyes are like popping out of her head.
I will change the world through sheer fucking rage. Fuck you. Do not tell me to calm down. Ever. No. I am perfectly in control, and I'm choosing to be angry. Just because you are in denial of your feeling emotions, and you only ever feel angry when you're totally out of control, does not mean that is what is going on right now. You are incapable of understanding things that aren't exactly like your brain and the way your brain works. Okay? Do I have a friend to talk to? I've been talking to you guys all day. You know plenty of trans women. Are any of them famous?
And fucking, yeah, I asked Marcy. She's a liar. She's a fucking liar. I'm a minority person she's taking advantage of to use the fucking stereotype of fucking trans women in order to fucking get famous.
She doesn't even have that many followers in the first place.
Since fucking, I actually did mess up with Marcella, and she's also blowing it out of proportion because, I got out of a fling where my partner got mad and we broke up. And now I'm gonna make fucking 3 videos about how they're terrible. I don't care. Yeah, I made a mistake. We had a fling, we broke up. Move on with your life. Move on with your life. Oh my god.
Actually, such a crazy statement to make, considering the fact that you made 17 videos, and yes, I counted, of you publicly crashing out. So she's been spending way too much online and spending way too much on live talking to these random people because she doesn't have an actual job. But these aren't even what I'm worried about. Let's get into this one, because this one is going to blow your mind.
Trying to fight for like all minority groups, like liberation. Whatever. I guess you're just gonna trust that I wouldn't do that kind of thing. Or you're not gonna. I won't say the name. I would I literally just said that you have to trust that I wouldn't do that kind of thing. Meaning I wouldn't do that kind of thing. And I hope it would be obvious from the rest of my opinions. Like, come on. This is what I mean about benefit of the doubt.
Oh my god, do you think I'm afraid of the cops? Oh my god, do you think I'm afraid of the cops? Oh my god, do you think I'm afraid of the cops?
I beg your pardon. I beg your pardon. Hold on, I got a Ku Klux Klan member on my page. Let me block this Ku Klux Klan member. Nobody's scared of y'all no more. Fuck out of here.
Y'all already know what I'm about to say, because what I'm about to say does not need to be said. You already know what I'm about to say, because what I'm about to say is already known. And as of filming this, is currently Black History Month. I'll let my ancestors do the talking when they smite her white ass. You even had the nerve to call her Malcolm X.
But what the hell, but?
Okay, so where to start? So a lot of people, myself included, used to be some fans of Lexity. I was not a huge supporter of her. I just liked her videos on occasion. You know, she didn't really stand out to me too much from the other people I followed. But after the whole Marcella and Marcy thing, it just created a whole divide with her fan base. There are people who are criticizing her and calling her out for her behavior, but there are still some diehard fans that just won't let go of her and are still supporting her. And it's honestly quite sad because a lot of her fans are really young adults and teenagers, pretty much children. Before the whole Twitch chat that Lexity had got clapped, here's one of the moderators, Fruity Nebula. They'll literally ban anyone for no reason upon Lexity's request.
No, they weren't explaining themselves. Those literally were not sentences. Goodbye, Jiffy Rat. They were literally not sentences, which I said, and you just refused to acknowledge, I guess.
You can see this moderator is a diehard fan trying desperately to defend her favorite celebrity for brownie points. Is honestly really sad.
Almost like the relationship is just not accepted in any way, shape, or form by certain people, like his mom, and like someone who's a friend with him that I used to be friends with. But other than that, it's it's just the hate from those two people that breaks it down, and it's turned as like a really.
This is actually one of the very few lives that I watched and stayed for. Steve was on live with two people who were probably under the age of 18. One of them was trauma dumping. And Lexity was just totally checked out. Like halfway through, her and the other girl wasn't even listening and she was just busy smoking. She really thought she was slick with that one. You thought. But peep how she treats all the rest of her fans who don't actively meet her, even the ones that do meet her.
I have no one to fucking help me right now, okay? I have no one to fucking help me. I'm like, oh, come help me, come here, and we'll help you. Yeah, every time I fucking do go to anybody, why am I so fucking angry? I don't know, maybe I'm fucking literally saying it right now, you dumb piece of shit.
Okay, so she's whining about how nobody wants to help her, even though she's got $30,000 from donations, and even had 2 fans meet up with her. And then somebody asks why she mad, and then she calls her fan a dumb piece of shit. Like, she really does not give a fuck about y'all. I hope that any of you diehard Lexity fans see that this person does not care about you, doesn't even need to be in the same room with y'all, even the same state as y'all, the same time zone, to be treating you so badly. Y'all still run back to your goddess.
Okay. I'm just gonna sing a little snippet of Nude from that Rainbows album because you talked about it, okay? And also, can I say that I love your videos and love your jewelry so much? Oh my god. Anyway, You'll go to hell for what your dirty mind is thinking. I got a little nervous. I did.
Beautiful voice. You have a very beautiful voice.
Thank you. We should do a for like.
So for context, this was a fan who came on live to sing for Lexity, and after she left the live, this was her reaction to her fans singing for her.
Who was on the live with me? I don't know. It's just somebody who here who was like, "Hey, let me sing to you," and I was like, "All right, you can sing to me." So they sang to me. Them. They were on the live. Lexity's art, not just people. Well, I honestly really hated that. I honestly really hated there being someone here the whole time. I was like, this was making me uncomfortable. Somehow this is gonna go wrong. In some ways, it's gonna get used against me. I don't know how. Like, can I take this? Okay. Like you know, especially and the fact that she's young makes it worse because that's such a thing used against trans people so often. You know.
Because I knew it was fake. I knew it.
Honestly, that is just so mean to the fan, and then she wants to use the excuse that like, oh, well, all the people call trans people pedophiles. Okay, well, maybe if half your fan base didn't consist of people under the age of 18, nobody would think that about you, specifically you. It's weird that her fan base is mainly underage, but she has this freaky thing on her wish list. And a short really fast so that this doesn't get taken down. 3, 2, 1. I'm not making this up. This is public. And the last vid I want to talk to you about really grinded my gears. There was a Lexity Discord channel. They were like under the guise of trying to like put together some information about Lexity, but really it was just a gossip channel. They was just gossiping about her. They really did not have anything else to talk about. They just wanted to be in the drama. And, you know, I feel like that's the problem here. There are people watching this purely because they just want to document what exactly is going on and provide context for everybody else. And there are some people who just sit on her live all day and watch it with a bucket of popcorn like it's a movie or something. And yes, I did get a little humorous with this video purely because I've been taking hours out of my day, out of my busy schedule to make this video for everybody to watch to provide context. Because I feel like, you know, if I don't do it, who will? I want to inform as well as entertain, because honestly, nobody wants to sit through an hour-long video essay of some dude going blah blah blah, and there's nothing to keep their attention. Okay? I just want to get that out. But let's get into this goofball. Basically, what happened was one of Lexity's old fans had invited Marcella into their Discord server, and they were talking about her and Lexity, and this person, Leo, decided to say that she was in contact with Lexity. It was a fucking lie, obviously. Went as far as to say that she even had Lexity's location, which makes zero sense because Lexity literally lives in a van. They even bombarded Marcella with a bunch of questions and then went to say, oh, I was high or something, which was really fucking weird. And then she was like, I'm really uncomfortable by this person. They give me bad vibes, obviously.
Yeah, I did feel pressured at the time. Let me resend those screenshots because they kind of got lost up in the chat. It's a bunch of screenshots between me and this person. Just, I know it's a lot, but just read it all and tell me if you would feel pressured in this situation, please. Yeah, I did feel very first photo, them sending me 6 messages in a row. That felt like a lot. Like you're pressuring me to do something, like trying to convince me.
He was upset because people thought that she was in contact with Lexity, which was not true. So me and someone else, we go into the server to confront Lido. Of course, the other person gets shut down, and they were on high alert because they thought their server was getting raided. So I decided to be sneaky with it and act like I didn't know what the hell was going on. This hooligan is like, and no pressuring here. And everybody in the server is starting to get suspicious. And then somebody's like, you know what? We really shouldn't be doing this. You know, we're worse than Tofiachu's server. And I'm like, I ain't part of this because I didn't do shit. So I send those 2 screenshots from before of the questions that Lido was asking, because Lido failed to send those in the first place and they got removed They removed my questions. And then I'm like, why did you do that? And then this hooligan straight up tells on themselves. My nigga, did you just blow away from Loserville? Cause why are you trying to stir the pot and try to bait somebody into talking to their abuser so that you can get some more drama in your sad, depraved little life? Get some help, please.
Here's the thing. I think, like, starting shit between people that are supporters of myself and Marcy, like, starting shit between those people, I think is a really bad idea. But also, for them to, like, what did you say? They're joining her lives and pretending to be her fans from IG, like, getting Lex to trust them and stuff. That's fucking weird. Lexity is obviously going through a fucking crisis, and people are, like, I feel like, yeah, we need to hold her accountable and document things and point shit out, but we don't need to fucking antagonize her and trick her into thinking that you're a fan to get... I don't know, that's fucking weird. That's icky. We don't want to push this person further to the edge just because it's fun to watch. That's fucking disgusting, and I don't like it.
Some other bullshit that Lido did that I don't feel like reading, you can read yourself. But honestly, this is just sad. This is pathetic. I don't know what's wrong with this person, but I'm just making an example out of them because clearly they are only seeing this as some kind of entertainment system. Do not witch hunt this person as well as Anyathena or Lexity. We do not condone that. This is a video purely for education. Okay? I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you learned something new. I hope I got a chuckle or two out of you. But you know, remember, stay safe, stay healthy, and stay hydrated. Thank you so much to everybody on the Lexity subreddit who took time out of their day to document and record all these videos and post them publicly. I want to thank Marcy and Marcella, and I want to thank all my friends who were part of this, making this video and helping me out. I really wouldn't have done it without any of y'all. And that's for shizzle, my nizzles. Mr. Fizzle out.